What the heck is DeFi and why it matters? Let's start with the basics. DeFi stands for Decentralized Finance, which sounds like something cooked up by a Silicon Valley startup after too much kombucha. But don't let the buzzwords fool you. DeFi is one of the most important financial shifts happening today. And if you're over 40 and still think staking is something you do to a tomato plant, it's time we had a chat. For most of our lives, finance has been centralized. You want a loan? You go to a bank. You want to trade stocks? You call a broker. You want to send money overseas? You pay a fee, wait 5 days, and hope it doesn't get lost in the digital Bermuda Triangle. These institutions act as middlemen. They hold your money, approve your transactions, and take a cut every time you blink. And while they've served a purpose, they've also created friction, fees, and let's be honest, a whole lot of frustration. DeFi flips that model on its head. Instead of relying on banks or brokers, DeFi uses blockchain technology and smart contracts to let people interact directly with financial services. You can lend, borrow, trade, earn interest, and even insure assets, all without asking permission from a guy in a tie. Think of DeFi as a vending machine for money. You put in your crypto, press a button, and out comes a loan, a trade, or a yield. No banker, no paperwork, no waiting for business hours. Why did this happen, you ask? Well, it all started with Bitcoin in 2009, a digital currency that didn't need a central bank. Then came Ethereum in 2015, which introduced smart contracts, self-executing code that could automate financial agreements. That was the spark. Developers realized they could build entire financial systems on top of Ethereum, lending platforms like Aave, trading protocols like Uniswap, stablecoins like DAI that mimic the dollar. Suddenly, anyone with an internet connection and a crypto wallet could access financial tools once reserved for Wall Street. All right, so you want to know, why is DeFi growing? There are 3 reasons. The first is access. DeFi is open to anyone. No credit checks, no minimum balances. If you've got a smartphone and a crypto wallet, you're in. The next reason is transparency. Every transaction is recorded on the blockchain. You can audit the code, track the money, and see exactly what's happening. Try doing that with your bank. The third reason is yield. Traditional savings accounts pay peanuts. DeFi protocols offer real returns, sometimes double digits, through lending, staking, and liquidity pools. Of course, with higher returns come higher risks, but at least you're not stuck earning 0.01% while inflation eats your lunch. Let's be honest, DeFi isn't all sunshine and rainbows. There are scams, bugs, and rug pulls. That's crypto speak for they took the money and ran. It's a bit like the Wild West. Exciting, but you'd better know how to ride before you saddle up. That's why education matters. You don't need to become a coder or a trader, but you do need to understand the basics. What's a smart contract? What's a liquidity pool? How do you protect your wallet? These are the new rules of the financial game. And if you don't learn them, you risk being played. DeFi is still young. It's like the internet in the 90s, full of potential, but not quite ready for grandma. But the pace of innovation is staggering. Here's some of the things that we are seeing. Tokenized real estate. You can now buy a fraction of a building. You can participate in decentralized insurance. Pool risk without an insurance company. Then there is cross-chain finance. Move assets between blockchains like you're swapping currencies at the airport. And regulators are starting to pay attention. That's a good thing. With clearer rules and better protections, DeFi could become a mainstream alternative to traditional finance. Faster, cheaper, and more inclusive. So why should you care, you ask? Because DeFi isn't just for techies and 20-somethings. It's for anyone who wants more control over their money. It's for retirees looking for better yields. It's for professionals tired of red tape. It's for people who believe that financial freedom shouldn't require a permission slip. And if you're reading this, you're already ahead of the curve. Here is my final word. I'm not here to hype coins or sell dreams. I'm here to teach. If you want to learn how DeFi works, how to avoid scams, and how to think about digital assets in your portfolio, I've got classes, resources, and a few war stories to share. Because old school grit still matters, especially today.